Fucking they haven't contacted you about that dispatch shit?
Oh, they did.
The rejection letter beat him home, bro.
Hot 10! Yeah, dude, use that shit, bro.
But yeah, we can keep it going because it's already recording and I'm already bullshitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that guy was making fun of me, man. So I was like, man, I mean, anyway, dude, one day I went to work and I got these Skechers that are shoes. The no lace Skechers that I wear when I'm like after work, like if I gotta putt around. So I'm in boots all day. So I put them on and I had to go deliver some paperwork or some nonsense I had to drop off at the office and I was wearing them things. And he was like, "Damn, look at you, one of those Skechers?" Yeah. What are you getting at? What you still shop for brand names?
Yeah, it's fucking middle school bullshit. Those fake Nikes.
Like, what, you got the latest Jordans? Like, I'm almost 45 years old. What are you talking about? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, fucking horse cock clean ass out of my face. I was like, come on, bro. This dude in the damn stable. How do you join the army and end up as a ranch hand?
Yeah.
How's that happen? Like me. Look, all right. So anyway, just to kick this off, I'm Haskell. This is James. We got Redcoat over here with us today. So Redcoat,
Token foreigner.
Give us a brief.
Give us a brief one before we get into the shit talking. Yeah, short.
Yeah, short version. I was British Army, got scooped up by the US Navy in London. Well, once I got out of the British Army, did several years with the US Navy, little time at Coronado with those guys, and friggin' then I came over to the Army, and the less said about that, the better. Holy crap!
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. Like James and I are BS. Like if you joined specifically to do that, like
horse management or husbandry.
That's your passion.
Yeah.
This is your thing.
Yeah.
This is what you do. It's what you've always done. You love that aspect of life. And hey, do you?
Yeah. There ain't many jobs for it.
Do you?
But there are a few.
Yeah, but don't get
like the last cavalry detachment now is 1st Cavalry Division's Horse Detachment.
Right. See,
which is for some is a prestigious posting.
It truly is.
It's like a career highlight for them that they were actually on horses as mounted cavalry.
But what
doing the shows.
What does that say about you? You know what it's like in a unit, friggin' the most unpopular guy gets the shittiest jobs.
And see, that's the thing. For some it's a prestigious posting, a highlight of their career. For others, it's how to get a shit bag out of your unit.
The guy we were talking... yeah, that's true. The guy we were talking, they gave him the job of cleaning horse penis. What does that say about him?
Says he's good at his job.
Maybe he enjoys it. I don't know. But, holy crap. Not riding the damn thing, not shooting the guns in the air or anything like that crap, because I've seen the videos.
Doing the saber stuff.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure the regular people love it, but he
I hear Indians hate it.
Probably.
What?
Not Dot.
Not Dot.
I'll tell you, man, it is fucking crazy, man. Like, this guy spent enough time of his day making fun of other people, and yet, you know, he ain't much to speak of.
Right.
You know, no. I never quite got that, man. Like, one day I pulled rank on him, and you know I don't do that.
Right.
Like, he came up and said, it's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that is fucking sergeant to you. Got that? And he was like, oh shit, I crossed the line here. Yeah, motherfucker, we ain't that familiar, man.
Yeah.
You know?
He was an habitual line stepper anyway.
It's like, we ain't that familiar. So it's just, I mean, so I guess the only thing you could take from this, like if you're a prospective job seeker and you go to a place where it's a either a paramilitary organization or military organization, or there's a lot of perceived alphas around, just chill, shut the hell up, chill, do your job, chill. They'll come around.
Yeah.
They'll come around. They'll come get you out and come pull you out of your comfort zone and come talk to you. The more you try to be part of that tribe and that group, the worse it gets. You know, especially if you're like, if you like, I mean, hell, when I first did my first contracts, I was surrounded by the who's who. You know, we're doing team introductions and guys are like, oh, I was X amount of years in freaking CAG, X amount of years SEAL team, blah blah blah, and I'm listening to all these dudes, and I was like, I had the horror of being the last guy to introduce himself, and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm Hesco. I was parachute infantry. I don't think this. I'm in the wrong room. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. And I just shut the hell up. I knew it was a low man in the totem pole. Shut my damn mouth, which you know is hard for me to do. I shut my damn mouth and just freaking went to work, man. Just went to work. If there was a detail that needed to be done, I went and did it. If somebody needs, you need to get a case of water, get a case of water. Get MREs, get MREs. Car needs washed, I wash it. You know, until I earned my place. You know, I earned my place, and then pretty soon it became kind of like, hey, let's go do this shitty detail. You know, hey, I'll go with you, or you know, so like, hey, go pick up, hey, yes, go pick up, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, and we get together, and I go, and they'd be like, hey, I'll go with you, just so we can keep talking, because they like my company. So it's just one thing that you work your way into, but. Habitually, we see these places that take on these employees that don't measure up, and it against everybody's better judgment and against everybody's advice to the contrary, they hire them anyways, and then they end up failing. And you know what's messed up about it is that guy probably doesn't know where he fucked up at.
Right.
So he's gonna continuously keep messing up.
Yeah.
To the end of time. So what the end of time for that guy's going to be, who knows?
Right.
But the buck has stopped somewhere for him in that career field. It's a shame because nobody's going to correct this dude. Maybe he's incorrigible. Maybe you can't correct him.
I think he's the kind of guy that,
Right.
if we're talking about the same dude,
We are.
He's not going to listen.
No, I mean,
he's just going to keep doing what he's doing.
yeah, but I mean, soon enough, you know, you gather enough, enough data where you figure out that it's you, it's not them. You know what I mean?
And hopefully he actually has the mental acuity to recognize that he's the one that needs to fix himself instead of everybody else needs to conform to him.
Yeah, it's like the last place that they gave me, the last place I worked for, they gave me the heave-ho. It's the first place that has ever given me the heave-ho. And I was like, okay, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't like how that went down, man.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, so 23 years of carrying a gun for somebody.
Yeah.
And they deem me not competent enough to, roll with them. And okay.
Well, the evidence freaking.
Yeah. So
look at how the agency's looking now. Freaking, it was definitely not you, man.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, it's not me. I mean, it's a disaster. I mean, and the mass exodus after my ejection was not. That's not a coincidence. So. It's been.
We could spend a whole show talking about that.
And we won't.
But
we won't.
But while we're sitting here, this is our 20th episode. So if you guys are tuning in, like and subscribe. Don't forget that those likes and those subscriptions do help the algorithm and help us push this podcast forward.
Share the show, get more eyeballs on it.
Share the show.
Share the shorts that we put out.
Share the show. Take a look at them. Make comments and whatever. I don't care what you comment on there. I've read some pretty stellar comments on some of those freaking.
Yeah, just remember they are clips taken out of an hour and a half long show.
So don't look at the short and then wonder where the rest of the content went.
Wow, I'm
Like-
gonna have to look at these comments.
Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't been looking, yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's like it's taken out of context for a reason.
I want you to.
I want you to watch the whole show.
I want you to get interested in what we're talking about and come on down and take a look at the show. You know, so I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, the last batch of comments that we put out, like there was a comment on there. It's like, why didn't you ask that? We did. You gotta watch the whole show though.
Yeah.
I was like, it's how many seconds there?
That one, probably like 23
Yeah,
seconds.
but how much are you allowed? Though?
60 seconds.
Like 60 seconds, yeah.
15 to 60 seconds.
15 to 60 seconds on those shorts, so you're not gonna get the whole kit and caboodle
Yeah.
of that.
No.
That little go. It's just a little taste, so you can see what it tastes like, and then you come on down and take a look at the rest of it and give us your honest shot on this. But in the last couple weeks, I mean, we punched the big episode out every 2 weeks or so, and we got a lot going on.
Let's go to the little stuff first.
Just covered,
'Cause the rest of the show is going to be the big one.
yeah. So what we got on the?
So, historical happening in the U.S. Congress, specifically the House of Representatives. Kevin McCarthy was removed as Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
That has never happened in American history. That's the first time. So
First time.
With that being said, and I'm sure it would help some of the viewers out, I've been working a lot, so give me the idiot's guide to what the hell happened to him.
Yeah.
So the big thing in Congress at the time was the government shutdown. So McCarthy went and did across aisles, working with Republicans and Democrats, which arguably that's his job as House Speaker. He's supposed to try to meld the House into one body to try to get things done, or to try to prevent things from being done. That's the House Speaker's job, is to work across party lines. Same thing as the President and the Vice President. They're supposed to work across party lines. They're not supposed to stick to political guidelines. So what McCarthy did was he worked with Democrats and Republicans to prevent a government shutdown, which he did. Some of the Republicans didn't like that. Some of the Democrats were all in favor of having the very first House Speaker to be removed to be a Republican. So the Democrats that he worked with voted against him in keeping his spot as House Speaker. So
Clearly he works with a bunch of tools.
well, they're all, I mean, I give that same
Politicians,
credit to
yeah.
all politicians in
Yeah.
DC. They're all a bunch of dickheads.
What kind of people like politics used to be? Freaking, I seem to remember a story of
Used to
Lincoln
be?
getting into fist fights and stuff. You
How
know?
far back in time do you want to go?
Duels.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dueling.
This is what President Andrew Jackson,
Andrew
I think, was the
Jackson,
last president to kill somebody while he was in office in a duel,
There you go.
where he was shot too.
There you go. Bring that back. It
From
would make
that-
C-SPAN more entertaining.
That's actually a pretty interesting thing. Like Andrew Jackson, I think either he was challenged or he challenged somebody else. Either way, the duel happened, and I think Andrew Jackson got shot in the chest. Like the bullet barely missed his heart, and then he fired, but the pistol misfired. So the judge that was on that duel, and there was a legit judge that was on that duel, was like, that doesn't count as a fire. You can reset and fire again. So he fired again and hit the guy in a vital point in the chest and dropped him like instantly.
Imagine being that other guy. Like, what?
He's sitting there loading up.
It's like,
Oh,
how
I
am
got
I-
you out
Yeah.
now.
How am I responsible for this guy's weapons maintenance?
I think that's how the duel went down. If there's historians out there that knows more, correct me, please. But I think that's how the duel went down.
This dude got shitty weapons maintenance and I gotta pay for it? With my life.
What was he using? The high point? You know, with it?
Black powder pistols, probably in fields.
Bro,
Oh no, there were so many weapons manufacturers
Yeah.
back then. Really.
oh yes, that's
Just
pretty.
a pipe and a stick.
It might, yeah, basically, it might
Dude, it's
even have
pretty-
been a high point. You know.
You know what's crazy is they probably never thought about the consequences of that other guy just saying, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, for
What's the ruling on that? I was like, he said, fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm out. What are you gonna do, hang me now? I said, so I have to die? You know, I was like, that's the reason for the duel. You
Yeah.
have a chance, a probability that you may not die.
Yeah.
Not for that guy though. They really wanted him gone.
Yeah. Apparently.
Like, this is not, bro. You got to take your bullet. Fuck that, man.
But
That's-
damn, man, him getting ousted like that. I mean, like I say, I saw bits and pieces on the news, but not enough to really be educated.
And that's
Bro.
the thing with something like that. It's never happened before, so there's really no precedent to look back on and say, well, this is what happened back in this day, which would give some insight of what happened today. No, that doesn't exist. This is the first time this has ever happened. There's never been a House Speaker to be removed from office in the middle of a tenure or between elections or anything like that.
Yeah.
So usually what happens when the House Speakership changes from one person to another is because the majority of the House changed from one party to another. So when you had the Republican Party as the majority party in the House, they're the ones who put up a House Speaker because it's from their party. When the Democrats, same thing. Democrats are in power. They have majority seats in the House of Representatives. They put up a Speaker of the House. Nancy Pelosi was the last one. Now it's Kevin McCarthy from the Republican Party, but now Kevin McCarthy's been removed. And right now there is no Speaker of the House.
That seems to be the way they're going, though, isn't it? They're like, you don't like somebody, remove them. I mean,
Well, it's a political tool. So I mean, every time a president comes into office, there's always a petition or an attempt to get the president impeached by the other party.
yeah, definitely since Clinton. It's been like every president since Clinton.
I would have to look at the history. I'm pretty sure it's every president.
Really?
I would have to look at the history,
Yeah,
but
it's,
it wouldn't surprise me to find out that it happens every time.
Maybe.
So the thing is that they'll bring up, they'll have a hearing to bring up articles of impeachment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some kind of accusation, some kind of evidence.
But some congressperson or whatever determined that what this person did may constitute,
An
crime,
impeachable-
misdemeanor,
Yeah.
whatever,
Impeachable cause.
impeachable offense or whatever. So they'll try, and a lot of the times it just don't go through.
Yeah.
So they'll vote on whether to push this past that level, and it just doesn't make it through. Now, what's crazy is that Donald Trump went through that process several times and was impeached 3 times
By the House of Representatives.
by the House of Representatives, and in all 3 times it was to no avail because it just wasn't.
Well, the Senate squashed it.
The Senate squashed it, but there wasn't enough.
That's usually what happened. Look, Clinton was
Yeah.
impeached by the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
Then that impeachment was squashed by the Senate.
Right. There wasn't enough.
I think it happened to Bush,
enough juice, you know. I just happened to just about every one of them. I mean, it's just.
Listen, I'm not going to look at the history now because it really doesn't matter. But it would not surprise me to look up the history of presidents being impeached, and every one of them has had to deal with it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean they're looking at articles of impeachment now for Biden.
Yeah.
Based
Based on corruption and
based on
taking bribes.
corruption and the bribes and all this other stuff that's intertwined with his son Hunter
Yep.
and all that bullshit. But
Hunter got indicted.
yeah,
I caught that one.
it's a pot of dog poo. But the thing with all that is that even if he does go down for that, there's a strong possibility the next president of the United States may pardon him
Right.
just to move on.
Yeah.
It's the same
Same
thing
thing
that was
happened to
done with
Nixon.
Nixon. It's the first time an impeachment, I believe, had gone all the way through to sentencing, right?
He resigned.
He was
before.
well. It was gonna go.
That's what it was looking like.
It was looking like
But
it
he
was-
resigned before
he resigned.
before anything could actually be like gavelled into the law.
Well, he was
or-
pardoned.
And then he was pardoned
He was
by
pardoned.
who took over after him? Ford.
It was Gerald Ford because it
Wasn't
wasn't
Gerald Ford?
or
Don't
It
be
wasn't-
looked at
wasn't
me
true.
when you
It
said
wasn't
that.
true.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
it was
I was looking at Google.
Oh, man.
It was Gerald Ford, I think, because it wasn't Lyndon B. Johnson came after Kennedy, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
Yeah, Gerald Ford. Okay.
Gerald Ford. So yeah, it's come on, it's
Those are some of the quotes from Lyndon B. Johnson.
they're bad, huh?
He's a racist son of a bitch.
No, you don't say.
Is that one of the quotes? I can't say the quote word for word. I won't say the quote word for word. But he said, "I'll have these black people," and that was not the word he used. "I'll have these black people voting Democrat for the next 200 years."
Yeah.
It's working.
It,
Black
yeah.
folks out there, look at the history.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. The Democrats have not changed. Everybody talks about, the great flip of the parties and what they believe in. It never happened. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's propaganda.
Yeah.
That's Democrat propaganda. Democrats have always been racist, and they still are.
that's
Republicans want you to live your life. Do whatever the hell you want to do and make whatever you want to make. If you don't, it's your failure. If you succeed, it's your success. Democrats don't want that. Democrats want you to vote for them. That's it. And they'll give you whatever they can give you to achieve that vote. They don't care about you. They never have. They care about their own party being in power.
That's crazy, man. Well, what else we got?
All right, so that's McCarthy. The other one is the big thing that Trump ran on when he was running for office was the border wall.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, the border wall. Build a wall. Build a wall. The Mexicans pay for it. We're gonna build this wall, and it's gonna do a lot of things, which a lot of people support. A lot of people think is a good idea because there are plenty of walls around the world, or demilitarized zones, or border whatever to prevent immigration, prevent unmitigated immigration, and build a wall. And he started it. He started building the wall, everything. And Biden partially, well, what barely running he did was, we're never going to build that wall. We should build bridges and not walls, all this other crap.
Hugs, not thugs? Yeah.
He's building the wall.
Yeah.
Because Biden is a Trump supporter.
Good old
The funniest thing to me,
Papa Joe.
right?
Good old Papa Joe, finally coming around.
Well, the thing is, like, we've
Joe.
needed some kind of mitigation thing on the border for a long time.
Yeah.
We need something. It doesn't have to be a wall. It could be anything. But something needs to curb unmitigated immigration into the United States from Central America in general, not just Mexico, from all those countries, because all demographics are coming across that border.
Yeah,
all of them.
But how else are the Democrats going to cover the deficit between the actual Democratic voters of the last election and the final tally of 81 million if they don't get all these Democrats across the border?
It's simple. You get dead people voting for you.
It's worked before.
Oh man, Redcoat for the win.
You can just start hey, here's another thing about that too. You can just start making up names too, because I mean, who are the people that count the votes, especially in like the northern states? Just regular people who've been Northerners for a long time. They don't really live in the southern states. They're not really familiar with Hispanic names. You just start making them up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It baked my noodle when I first came over here, and I'm trying to learn how to, because being posted in the San Diego area,
Trying to learn how to speak English.
trying to learn how to freaking pronounce Hispanic stuff.
Oh,
Like that
Isn't that the-
J is an H, man. Fucking
Yeah.
that just baking my noodle. I'm sitting there just like,
It's like, no, the fuck is not, you bloody.
what's a jalapeno?
yeah. I'd get so self-conscious going to like Mexican restaurants and stuff, and everybody's ordering. I was just like, I'll have that. Because I ain't trying to say it and butcher it and be that freaking foreigner.
Which I still don't understand is why habanero is spelled the same way it is.
You can say however you
It's
want.
spelled with an H.
You say however you want. I mean, I don't even know how it's spelled in Spanish. I don't know if it's the same spelling.
It starts with an H.
I'm Puerto Rican, so it just is what it is.
But yeah, so-
I bet you didn't have the same cultural clash that I did. You know what chewing tobacco was, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, I grew up around Americans anyway.
Yeah.
Because those 2 U.S. Air Force bases, there were thousands of Americans, and there's this whole weird mixed culture. You got the red British friggin' telephone box, but American cars driving past and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The Americans have been in that area since the end of World War II. So they're woven into the fabric. But there were some like cultural things that I wasn't exposed to.
Yeah.
And then when I came over here, the whole Hispanic thing, the Mexican food, like it took me a while to realize, Mexican food in America is like Indian food is in England. Got it.
Indian food over here is usually expensive and hard to find.
Yeah.
It's usually like a fancy restaurant.
Yeah. It's where drunks go
Yeah.
in England.
Yeah, it's your taco truck.
Yep.
The thing when I was stationed in Korea, we had the doner kebabs.
That
I
explains.
miss those.
That
Yeah, me too.
explains. That
They were
explains.
delicious.
That
Well,
explains. I
when
was
you're
just-
drunk, they're delicious.
That explains a lot.
Well,
That
the-
explains a lot.
The doner kebabs back home, it's like you're going home after a night out drinking food.
The same with us.
It's basically your final admittance that you're not getting laid that night.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna get laid with all that stuff in your mouth, and you're gonna spill it all down your
Right.
shirt and all that kind of stuff. And the guy fucking knows. He's like cutting the lamb off the thing. He's
Right.
just, oh, you're gonna get a doner kebab. He's like, oh, you want sauce on your not getting sex tonight kebab, huh?
Oh, yeah. That explains a lot.
We came out of Tokery so many times, like, hit the, because there's a doner kebab stand. This is back in '04. So there's a doner kebab stand, like, right after you get out of the Tokery Club area, and then right before you walk into Camp Hovey. And Camp Hovey and Camp Casey border each other. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this doner kebab stand is small. It's like the size of this room. And go in there, and everybody ordered the same thing. It's like, lamb kebab, double meat, double sauce, no veg. That's all, just a meat pita.
Well, I was at
A ton of
a bar
sauce
in
on it.
London with some friends, and one of them brought these little baggies, like little fucking clear baggies with the food already in it, and no napkins, no nothing. Just the sandwiches in the bag,
Napkins are for sober people.
bro. And I was just so confused about where the hell did they get these kebabs, and nobody really answered me. It was just like. They're like, where the fuck you guys get kebabs from? And there was just eat your fucking kebab. I was like, okay, so I just ate my, and I didn't even dawn on me that somebody had actually gone way down the street and actually freaking went and got those, and that was like a regular thing.
Yeah.
But
I say that's your drinking food, man.
yeah, it's
So that's the border wall thing. So Biden is building the border wall. This administration, and the excuse that they're given is
that
Congress.
one's good. That one's good.
Congress had already allocated the money to build that wall, and now this administration has not been able to get Congress to reallocate the money or rescind the money. So now they have to build the wall with that money. That's never happened before either. They've always been able to re-earmark money for whatever the fuck they want. It's bullshit. It's complete garbage. And you hear it from Biden. Biden has said it. I've seen videos of Biden himself saying it. I haven't seen shit from Kamala Harris because I'm pretty sure somebody has her on fucking plane mode. Whatever her name is, Jean Pierre.
Karine Jean Pierre.
Yeah, the French lady. I don't know.
Yeah, the black lesbian liar.
Yeah. It's all of them have said it. It's like, oh, that's why we're doing, because we have to break the law if we're not gonna build the wall. And it's like, why the fuck was that part of your campaign then? Mm-hmm. Why was it part of Biden's platform to run for president? It was like, we're never gonna build a wall.
Wow.
Because they're never going to admit that they fucked up.
They fucked up. They lied straight up.
Yeah, they straight up lied.
Just like, oh, shit.
Either way you slice this, they lied.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're not gonna build that wall. If the money's already been allocated before they said that, you have to build the wall. The money's already there. It has to be used for that purpose. Which is what they're saying is the money is like a grant from the government. Mm-hmm. They have to use it for that specific purpose and nothing else. The government's never been like that. They've always been, as long as the money hasn't gone out to that project yet, they can still use it for some other crap. Mm-hmm. They can just say, this project no longer exists. So this money is now no longer being used for whatever the hell we earmarked it for. So we're going to push it to this other project.
Yeah.
They've always done that.
That's bonkers. Did you see that DPS actually went and assaulted those cartel islands in the Rio Grande?
I heard about that.
Oh yeah.
Texas
no.
DPS?
Oh yeah, Texas Rangers.
No kidding.
Yeah, Texas Rangers.
Well, it doesn't surprise me if it was them.
Is it American territorial waters?
I don't know.
No.
It is now.
It is now.
If I'm standing on it.
It is now.
Is it 5 miles off the coast?
There
These
were-
territorial waters?
No, these islands on the Rio Grande, they're by
in the
Eagle,
river?
Yeah, by Eagle Pass and
Oh, I thought you
further
went out in
down.
the Gulf.
No. No, these cartel islands. So the cartels have LPOPs all across the border. Well, in some areas it's closer than most. For you guys that don't know what an LPOP is, a listening and observation post.
Listening
So
post, observation post.
the cartel has these blinds overlooking the border side, the American side, and they got these LPOPs set up, and they cross where because of these islands, it's a lot more narrower and shorter of a trek to come across. It's one of those places where they've been using those trebuchets full of weed
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They've been.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I heard about it. That was back when they were doing all kinds of goofy stuff to get their drugs over.
Well, they're not trebuchets in the traditional sense.
It's just
more,
the news cover stuff.
Yeah, they're not trebuchets in the traditional. They're catapults.
Either
basically.
way, yeah.
But they've been written down the side, operated by a coyote.
Well, those islands, the Texas Rangers, they're in DPS HRT. They've been attacking those islands.
No kidding.
And actually taking them over.
I ain't heard nothing about this.
Oh yeah,
That's
bro.
nuts.
Yeah,
That's good shit too.
Google that stuff for you guys. You guys want to know what Texas is doing to protect the border and protect America?
Yeah.
Because nobody else is doing
The
it.
longest continuous border with Mexico. The longest continuous international border, Texas.
Texas Rangers are kicking ass down there in conjunction with some support from the Mexican federales, because that can't be understated. They are actually being helped by the Mexican government. So this isn't like an incursion into foreign land.
But it's not their government doing it.
It's
their
not.
government's actually trying to help stop it.
This is a joint
least curb it.
operation. This is a joint operation between two governments to try to stem the flow of illegal immigrants and human trafficking in that area.
Yeah.
So they've been punching them hard, man. They're so brazen out that the LPOPs are marked by cartel. Like they spray paint their cartel's insignia on one, and they'll be like 200 meters down the road, and the other cartel has their LPOP also marked.
There's a way to solve that.
Yeah, there's a way to solve that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it for friggin' air miles, man, but ain't nobody gonna pull the trigger on it.
That's the thing. I mean, violence solves almost every problem you've got. So I mean, nobody's actually willing to go to war with the Sinaloa cartel over.
But that's the only way you beat people like that.
You're absolutely
You got to
right.
play them at their own game.
And I agree.
Yeah.
You know?
But looking at it from
politically,
exactly.
it's
The
political
political
suicide to
aspect of it.
friggin' do that. You
And
know,
the thing is, I don't know about that. I don't know if that would be political suicide.
not in Texas.
Well, no, not in Texas, but even at the national level, I don't know if it would be political suicide for an elected politician to start putting up a front, saying, well, not a front, but putting up a proposal to get tier 1 operators or just under tier 1 operators to start doing small team insertions or small team tactics against something like a major state cartel.
A few freaking
I'm not familiar with the
A few
cartels.
candidates.
They've actually talked about that.
A few candidates have
Well,
actually taken
can the
that.
U.S. military be used for something like? Because even the operators I'm talking about, those are U.S. military assets. So.
But it comes down to your give a shit level. I mean,
True.
Let's face it, half the stuff we send those guys to do, friggin', should we have done it? Probably not, but they did it anyway. You know?
Well, I'm sure from like the personal perspective of those tier 1 guys, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't know any of them, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, no, that you know what they're like. They just like to do their job, you know. It's like when I was at Coronado, a lot of the guys would go and contract them because they weren't really allowed to do what they wanted to do because they all the training that they'd done and they were just getting held back. So they're like, "Fuck it, I'll go private," you know. And it's the same thing like what you're saying, friggin', you know, letting those guys off the leash. They'll do it with a smile on their face, you know.
Yeah, your people did that shit with the SAS during the Falklands, didn't they?
Well,
They've done it since the formation of the SAS. I mean,
I'm just saying, like Maggie Thatcher had like a big thing about that, or like.
Oh yeah.
Releasing
Friggin'
SAS.
that movie I told you about, friggin', I think it came out in like the 70s or the early 80s. It's got Billy Connolly in it and all that, and they got an impersonator. No. It was called Water, and it was about some Caribbean island that is a whole thing. But
I remember that one with ungentlemanly act. I can't even say that word.
Yeah.
Ungentlemanly act.
Oh,
yeah.
But the bit I'm talking about is they got this woman pretending to be Maggie Thatcher. You know, she does a good Maggie Thatcher, and she was doing this news thing, and she's just like, and I've deployed the SAS to the island of Cascara to show the gratuitous violence for which they are so rightfully famous.
Yeah.
Bro, I can't wait for season 2 of that series.
Rogue Heroes or what? Rogue Warriors, whatever.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Bro, it's on Prime.
Is it on Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'll check it out.
Patty Main
It's
is
so good.
such a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Is it World War II?
Yeah, it's the story of the formation of the SAS.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
familiar with the premise.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
And they don't hold back too.
Really?
The story is so close to legit, even the more crazier things.
Oh,
Like it's done like an action comedy, but it's like, no, that was pretty much.
It's
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure if you
Yeah.
had a camera with any
Bro,
SF unit or like,
It's like if Band of Brothers
it
had a
would be an
sense of
action
humor.
comedy.
Yeah.
It's like if Band of Brothers had a sense of humor, bro. It's fantastic
Right.
because they interpose, they superimpose clips of the actual operation and
Oh,
the
no kidding.
videos, the actual actions, and right along with the actors and what they're
No
doing.
kidding.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good.
And they're doing like World
It's so
War
good.
II stuff, but they're playing AC/DC over the top of it.
Oh, yeah.
dude, but it makes sense. It makes
Right,
sense.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Like the way it's portrayed, it makes
So
sense.
whoever was doing the
So
score for that show knew what they were doing.
Well, the first episode, the pilot was a little rough around the edges, as normal pilot episodes are.
typically.
But the
Low budget
introducing the
production,
characters and all
introducing
that.
the characters.
Yeah.
The pilot was a little rough, especially with the score. But once they got picked up and they launched, brah, so good, so good. That Patty Main character,
Yeah.
whoa, man,
Yeah, that guy's famous in the SAS.
that dude's such a legend. And they showed him for what he was. He was a fucking madman.
And they left off with him taking over the fucking SAS because Sterling got captured. Freaking so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
season 2's gonna be real.
Yeah,
This is a guy who loved the fight.
yeah.
Like, no holds barred, screw it, kill everybody kind of a
He
freaking
was
dude.
he's an anti-hero in my estimation. Like, he didn't want to be the main character.
No.
He didn't want to be the main dude, but he became the main dude just on his actions alone, and his team propped him up. This is a fantastic thing, but
Yeah, definitely
but
watch it.
you gotta watch it. You gotta
I'll
watch
check it out.
but
Check it out.
What's next on the agenda? What we got?
Well, that was it for the small stuff. Now it's the thing that's been completely flooding the airwaves on every channel, every
Gee.
radio station.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
can anybody guess what
Britney
it is?
Spears with those
Oh, okay,
knives?
so when
Britney Spears with those knives?
What you doing now?
you know what they
I
are.
have no idea what
there's
you're
a
talking
meme where Britney Spears freaking went for the cheese slid off the cracker on that freaking.
Yeah.
So
She's doing like some dance routine in the house, but she's doing it with kitchen knives.
Nice.
It looks
Yeah,
absolutely
you know,
insane.
You know,
Jesus
because meth. So
about. Seen it before.
yeah, that's the meme.
Yeah.
That's the meme. It's
Yeah.
like a police officer body cam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's what people think, blah blah blah, what my body cam sees, like
Right.
Yeah.
what the suspect looks like to the
Yeah.
public, and what my body cam shows, and it's
Yeah.
Britney Spears going full meth with some knives. Dude, it's freaking crazy. But going to the big news. So were they killing Palestinians last week?
No.
No. Were they shelling Gaza last week?
Not that I know of.
No. Like, what happened? What happened this week? Why are they
So
killing?
from what I understand, and me not being in the Middle East,
Is it
right now,
bloodlust?
never been to Israel.
Yeah.
I'd like to visit sometime,
Right.
especially now. From what I understand, Hamas launched a shit ton, over 1,000 rockets from Gaza into Israel.
you
At
did
the
tell me.
same time, those rockets were covering a ground invasion that was happening not only by cutting their border wall, their border fences, and moving troops in, but also by, what are those things called with the parachutes and the
About the paragliders. or
paragliders?
what
They were covering paragliders.
Yeah.
Paragliders, ground assault, and rockets all at the same time.
So you're telling me that
Wait,
there
historically,
is,
what that tactic called?
They were amphibious too.
Blitzkrieg.
They were coming in by
That's
boats.
called blitzkrieg.
so there is a place
They're
where
talking
the
about
airborne,
boats
huh?
too?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about the boats.
No, yeah, there's videos of it.
Tell me about the boats.
Yeah, like but yeah, freaking there's videos of the IDF freaking Navy freaking just lighting these things up and
I hadn't heard about the boats at all, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
freaking like they one of the ones I remember, like, I don't know if you've ever seen a Zodiac, but they got these
Of
metal
course I've seen
boards in the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Well, they freaking light this thing up. You see that board just go, everybody flying everywhere and stuff. Freaking, it's like, oh shit!
Yeah, I hadn't heard about the amphibious part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just thought it was ground, air, and rockets.
No, there was full spectrum, man.
Oh shit!
There was
But
a
yeah.
lot of logistics.
It's called a blitzkrieg when you use combined arms tactics, ground forces, air forces, and naval forces.
What makes it blitzkrieg in the traditional sense is the air asset.
Yes.
The air aspect.
When
The
you have-
air aspect can come from either aerial bombardment through aircraft or rockets in this case. So
Yep.
it's
You have
basically
air power covering ground power. That is the definition.
Stuff falling from the sky, keeping your head down while the crunchies on the ground make their move. So
And they've been doing their research too, because they're doing the stuff the Ukraine has been doing with the drones dropping bombs.
That's
and
another
stuff.
part of this whole thing.
oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so from what I've been able to gather, from what's come out on like mainstream media and stuff like that, some of these weapons, some of the money has come from Ukraine. Now, the thing is, from what I understand, a vast majority of the weapons, particularly, have come from Afghanistan, and they are American weapons. They are American M4s, Humvees. There are APCs out there, but I'm pretty sure those are Israeli APCs
Yeah.
that were taken by Hamas fighters. But the M4s can't be accounted for in that region because the Israelis don't use M4s. They don't. They use Tavors. They use that other thing that they came up with. They use Israeli weaponry. They don't use American weaponry. They don't use UK weaponry. They use Israeli weaponry that they develop, that they market, that they push out to their troops. But a lot of the weapons that Hamas is using against Israel are American weapons. They're M4s, of course the AK-47 because it's what's available.
But explain to me, James, what is Afghanistan doing with American weapons?
Oh, let me explain.
How did that happen?
Wait, I want to put this as best as I can. See what happened was Biden fucked up.
No!
Oh. You mean
Say
fucking
Wait.
you mean fucking Scrabble brain over there? Fucking
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
pulled out of Afghanistan
Yeah. Like
and left his load behind.
like his wife was knocking on the window.
Yeah, it gets dirty.
I was about to say that there's a joke there, but
Yeah.
I'm not going for it.
So yeah, when Biden pulled the forces out of Afghanistan, they left a ton of American
Yeah, that
assets
pissed
there.
all of us off.
Yes, everybody saw it. Especially all the military vets, were like, what the fuck? And it was weapons. It was military vehicles, helicopters too. It was a whole bunch of our
There's videos
stuff.
of them trying to fly them things. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's where it
like
came
watching
from.
a monkey on a fucking
Like,
unicycle, you know?
It's crash.
So now the American military assets that were left in Afghanistan after the pullout, the fucked up pullout.
Yeah.
A lot of those weapons have been shipped from the Taliban because they took the assets. The Taliban took the assets, claimed the assets as their own, and have been supplying their own military forces with those assets. Well, now a lot of those assets have made it down to Hamas in Palestine.
Who would have shipped them?
I
They
don't
could
know.
have done that shit themselves.
Now,
I mean,
we all know it went frickin' into frickin' Iran and then came down.
probably.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Thing is proving that. And you don't have to prove that anymore. But I mean, Iran is so close to this conflict that they're about to get fucked up too. So I mean, there's a lot of money that's been funneled from Iran into Hamas. And the other thing is, there's a $6 billion check that was signed by Biden to Iran. Now, how much of that money made it into the hands of Hamas? And the other thing that I really want to touch on is back to the Ukraine thing. So how much money have we issued Ukraine for their war? I'd say probably close to $70 billion at this point.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that money has actually gone from Ukraine to Hamas for their little stint against Israel? Because this is putting us on the precipice of World War III. If this sparks off in the Middle East and you get action from Jordan, from Egypt, from Iran, from Syria, from Iraq, from Bahrain,
Lebanon.
from Qatar, from Lebanon.
Oh, you mean all of the countries that pledged allegiance to Palestine
Yeah.
already? Yeah.
If you get military action from those countries against Israel, the United States has already vowed to defend Israel. And that's the reason why we now have one full carrier group in that region, and there's another one on the way.
Yeah, but that second one was already scheduled to be
Yeah,
out
the second
there.
one was already scheduled to be there. The first one that's actually there now was diverted, from my understanding, and that was the Gerald R. Ford strike group.
Carrier Group 2.
The
It's
carrier group
on
two
the
is
way.
the Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yeah, that's
Strike
on the
group.
way. Carrier Strike Group 12.
Yeah, 12 is Dwight D.
So-
Eisenhower. 2 is Gerald R. Ford.
It's the one that's closest to the hot zone there.
Yeah.
But
Do we know if they're sending any amphibious ready groups in here?
From-
That's what
they should be one.
Here's the thing.
that's what Carrier
before-
Strike Group 2 is for.
From what the thing is, we are not in the military. We are not attached to any kind of intelligence, anything. We're just
Intelligence would probably be the last word I'd use.
Either way.
Yeah.
but we're just couple of guys that bullshit with each other on a podcast every other week. So I mean,
Right.
that we don't have any inside information. We can just
Not at all.
we can make semi-educated guesses, and because this isn't facts that we're putting out, it's our opinions.
Opinions.
Yeah, YouTube, you fucks. It's just opinions and jokes mostly, dickheads. But those amphibious strike groups are already a part of those fleets. They're already a part of those strike groups. From what I understand.
No, because doesn't matter anyway. Friggin', I was gonna say, friggin', when they had me on an ARC, I rarely saw friggin' aircraft carriers. Like, I mean, you got the big.
And the thing is, I don't know if these are
amphibious
amphibious ready groups, but I do know that they're carrier strike groups.
Well,
And the official position is that those carrier strike groups are in that region to prevent places like Iran, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, and the other countries from participating in this war on the side of Hamas and Palestine.
Yeah.
That's why the carrier groups are there.
well,
to
the main
prevent
reason,
it.
reason why I asked about the ARCs was because they carry a decent amount of fucking
Complement of
Marines and equipment.
Usually level 2,000 per.
You know?
That's what.
Yeah.
Enough to piss somebody off.
That's
Yeah.
what carrier strike group 2. Well, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what
From what the understanding is,
You
that's
know,
what the purpose is.
allegedly.
The Dwight D.
My point
Eisenhower
is,
script
it's
or
not
whatever.
just air power though. There is an amphibious
Yeah,
element.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't,
But-
yeah. I don't know
So
for sure, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
So
exactly what's going on.
the thing is so the average person go on their day to day. You go to work, pick up your lunch pail, go to work, come home, you know, feed your kids, you know, whatever,
Right.
raise your kids, do your everyday stuff. This kind of stuff seems trivial and so far away, and it doesn't really affect you on its face. And then you start seeing the trickle down effect, and that's why we talk about it, because
Yeah.
eventually what you'll start seeing is that all these countries that are involved in this geopolitical disaster, a lot of them hold our proverbial nuts over the fire because we buy oil from them,
Oh, who's Saudi Arabia?
and they have pledged their support for the Hamas, who's allegedly the bad guy in this whole thing, and well, I mean, not allegedly, but it's pretty definitive that they are. But, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But it's since they pledge allegiance to that, and we've pledged allegiance to Israel and supporting Israel, now we're at odds with trade partners,
Yep.
which will definitely cause strain into our trade relations, and it'll probably spike the price of oil again, and you'll see that in the pump, which means it's less money for you to take home. You know.
Well, see, that's the thing about Saudi Arabia. I mean, for them to extract money out of the world economy is so easy. All they got to do is raise the price of oil by like 1%,
Yeah.
and they'll extract a couple $1 billion from the world economy, and they can funnel whatever the hell they want.
So another thing we've seen is weapons manufacturers and ammunition manufacturing companies have pretty much stopped selling to the everyday American or the everyday customer. They started to reserve their
Because they've been
stockpiles.
I'm pretty sure they've been, because all these ammo companies, especially
Yeah.
the big ones like Hornady and Remington
Which
and you know,
Lost the facility.
stuff like that. I was going to get into that.
Yeah.
I was going to lead you into that a little later. But I mean, a lot of these companies, I mean, they have lobbyists in D.C., so they have people plugged in D.C. that know these politicians, they know the intelligence workers and the intelligence chiefs. So if these ammo companies are starting to stockpile ammunition, and they're starting to like hold reserves, and they're starting to run out of stock. The only reason that they're running out of stock in the store is because they're no longer selling to civilians. They're now keeping a reserve so they can supply the military.
Right.
So if they're starting to keep a stockpile in reserve and not selling it in the civilian market, it's because somebody has told them that a war is coming and we're going to need that ammo pretty soon.
Yeah, they learned that lesson. Remember, I told
That's
you
right,
that in 08, 09,
Yeah,
there was that
the
drought of
surge,
ammo,
yeah.
and the only companies that were keeping up with the Russians.
With the Russians, yeah.
You know, so I guess they learned that lesson.
Yeah.
So they were,
But yeah, if these companies are actually starting to keep reserves, that means they've already got word from DC that there's a war coming and we're going to need that ammo soon.
Yeah. So another thing you can look at is also in the stock market. So a lot of congresswomen been investing heavily.
oh, kind of like around COVID, all those people just miraculously get 3M friggin' shares and stuff.
Yeah.
Right before they told everybody to wear masks,
Yeah.
which don't work. I mean, you know my philosophy on those damn masks.
Bro,
You can smell a fart, they don't work.
Bro, that COVID was like Vietnam to some of them people, man. Like, I still see to this day that poor black dude freaking playing pool with a COVID mask on. He won't take it off. I've seen him like 17,000 times at the freaking at the pool hall I go to, and this poor guy out there still wearing his mask, bro.
Still wears it every time.
I still see people wearing their mask in their cars by themselves. I'm telling you, this traumatized the freaking shit out of people, man. They're still making announcements on the radio saying it's the fifth largest cause of death in America. I'm like, what? Get out of town.
If you listen to a public radio station, you'll hear those advertisements all the time.
God, man. Dude, COVID was Vietnam, man. I'm telling you. Now, I'm not saying for YouTube's sakes we're talking, so we're not
giving medical advice.
We're not giving medical advice or informing people.
We've been taken down for that before.
Yeah, our damn video has been taken down completely.
Yeah, that whole COVID thing, I'll just cut that out, man. just to be safe.
No.
Don't take that shit down again.
No, it's just, dude, don't.
We have like 4 or 5 different platforms that we post on anyway. So.
We're not doctors, we're just talking.
But to get back on track, one of the things that really...
My tracks.
Yeah. All right, to get back on your track.
Tracks River Gore.
But one of the things that really bothered me was that one woman from the squad for him with the Palestinian flags.
Omar?
Yeah, whatever.
Was it Omar or was it?
Yeah, the one that married her brother.
Yeah, that's Omar.
Yeah,
friggin'.
we
just
know.
gonna put Palestinian flags out like.
Yeah.
Right when all that stuff's going down, it's just like, no, if I were you, I'd stay. A little freaking neutral on that one because
Was it Brian Stam showed up in his Israeli uniform?
Oh, I didn't
his
know.
IDF uniform.
Really?
He served in the IDF.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he was an airborne ranger too.
Oh,
he
damn.
lost both his legs. Yeah, they criticized him way more than they criticized Omar.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane.
If you didn't know that about Omar, that's how. Yeah, she married her brother.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's still like on the fence on that. Like they've been still talking about her immigration fraud.
Yeah. So she's Somali born. She was born in Mogadishu.
Yeah.
And she came over and married her brother because her brother was an American citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wonder how many kids they got. Hold on. Oh wait, they got one. Yeah.
Got webbed feet. Eyes are. Hey, you guys.
She's got one kid. I have no idea who the dad is.
man.
I don't know, just because I'm not going to look it up and I don't care.
But
Yeah.
Oh shoot, man.
They're putting up those Palestinian flags, man.
Well, that's the thing about this whole. I can't wrap my head around it. We were talking about it at length for a while, off camera, and I can't wrap my head around how many. Because in the United States, there have been several protests and marches with thousands of people coming out in support of Palestine.
Yeah.
There have been marches in London, same thing. There are thousands of people coming out in support of Palestine. France, same thing. Germany, same thing.
50,000
I mean,
people.
all over the Western world, there are thousands and thousands of people coming out and marching in support of Palestine. So what in the fuck
But
is
you know
going
where
on?
they're not at? Gaza.
Yeah.
So
That's another thing,
Oh,
too.
let's not get carried
Like-
away.
None of these folks are
Why?
like flying or flocking into Gaza to help
So-
the Palestinians fight the Israelis, but there are plenty of Jews who are buying out entire planes
Yeah.
to fly from wherever the hell they are to Israel to
that's
join the IDF.
that's the difference between virtual signaling with 50,000 of your friends and actually being about it.
Right.
So all them kids in freaking Washington University and freaking USC and some of these other universities in the
and all
United
them,
States,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Berkeley, UC Berkeley in California, and all these other freaking universities in New York and freaking Columbia University and all these freaking colleges that are freaking toting this freaking Palestinian line. Number one, a quarter of you guys have been tossed from the highest rooftop if you actually met
Right.
them,
Yeah.
were actually greeted by
Yeah.
Hamas and kept alive long enough to make it to the top of a building. And the other one of you guys would be kept around as child boys or freaking sex toys for the freaking fighters to come in after they come off the front line. These guys, it's always
And
real
that's the
easy.
thing, that's
real easy to talk shit from freaking hundreds of thousands of miles away, having never lived next to these freaking people.
That's the
having
fucking
never
thing about some of
freaking
these
lived
people.
next to these people.
You don't know what their culture is
You
like.
don't know
You
what
have
their culture is. You have no idea
what these people actually get down to on a day-to-day basis. All you know is like, oh, they're Muslims that are suffering. No.
No, these people are different.
many
these aren't
people are very
these aren't the
different.
Muslims that I grew up with.
No.
These aren't the Muslims that I have friends.
Yeah, these aren't the
that
Muslims
are-
from your community.
These
Yeah.
aren't the Muslims that I am friends with on Facebook and
Right.
friends with on a day-to-day basis that I talk to every now and then, and we freaking go on WhatsApp and catch up on how your kids are doing and all this other stuff.
And here's the
Those
thing.
are not the same Muslims. These
Bringing
are
the
freaking
religion into
different.
this is something I wanted to talk about too. Someone wanted to bring up. These little bastards are. Some people consider them like devout Islam, right? The devout Muslims and shit. These
Yeah.
motherfuckers are about as devout Muslim as the cartel is devout Catholic.
Right.
Bullshit. They don't give a fuck about their religion. They don't give a damn about what's in the Quran. They don't care. They do all sorts of crazy weird shit. And what he's talking about with like kids being, it was seen in Afghanistan. It was a common practice and it was an accepted practice. That's the kind of shit you deal with. Muslims who actually read the Quran and hold to the Quran would never do that. It's beneath them. It's abhorrent to them. But these folks who just use the Quran as a shield, that's not the case. They'll do whatever dirty, nasty shit they want and try to hold the Quran up as like, this is our culture. Fuck off. That is not your culture.
It's bonkers because me coming from this world, having spent so many years in the Middle East, I could tell you that if some of my guys can verify this, if they had any tasking that had to do with Israel, it was a special page on your passport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you flew through Dubai, that could not be in your passport.
Yep.
You cannot have Yiddish in your passport. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Matter of fact, they're not allowed in Dubai. I don't know if they are now, but I mean, things may have changed in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years. I don't know. Maybe not today, but maybe they did open it up a little bit. But you can be a Jewish person from Israel and walk in there and go to land in Dubai to go check out the Gold Souk. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So I can convert to Islam if I wanted to. A lot of people have. Don't be Jewish though. That ain't happening. You're not accepted. And that's those Muslims. Because I grew up around Muslims and Jewish people. And all them families got along just fine. Fine. We played soccer together. We were in the same soccer team. We were in the same classes. We sat next to each other. We BS next to each other. Palestinians and Jews in the same school, in the same class, in the same soccer team. We didn't have any problems. And it's not just the kids, the families. Because we had functions. We had projects that we did together. We had group projects. And we go to their houses. And this wasn't an issue. It's that kind of Palestinian, that kind of Arab is different. That is different. So we're trying to make that distinction. What people are supporting, it's not the same. That's why it's important to realize that when Israel makes that distinction, that Hamas and Palestine are one and the same. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But they're not going to sit here and waste 30 hours of freaking education to explain to you why that is the way it is. You got to live it.
Right.
You got to live it. You got to be through it. You got to suffer through it and see the difference for yourself. And then you'll be like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
But all them freaking hundreds of thousands of protesters, not one of them are catching a flight to Gaza.
Right.
Well, most of them ain't even been out of their state
They ain't
before.
never been there. Most of them ain't never even been there.
Yeah. And
This is virtue signaling from afar, man. That's the trendy cause. So they go rah, 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 change the profile picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that's about the extent of their support.
Yeah.
They won't pick up a rifle.
No, they'll pick up a Starbucks.
They pick, yeah, but they'll tell everybody on Instagram, oh, look at me, let's support blah blah blah, and yeah. So
I think the next big thing in this whole story are those hostages, man.
That's going to be a big one, especially if Hamas starts killing them.
bro,
So I mean,
The future's kind of bleak for
and
them.
I don't even know. If
you don't say.
I don't even know at this point if all the hostages have been identified and where they're from and who they are. Plenty of them are
I
Israelis,
saw
but there are some that are Americans.
Something on the news that said they weren't releasing the names of the American ones because they don't want to tell Hamas that they're American or something like that. I don't know. Like I say,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely.
There are plenty of Israelis that are dual citizens, American Israelis,
There's.
because a lot of them go to Israel to do their
Oh, yeah.
service to Israel.
yeah,
I don't think that we benefit from knowing where they're from. It's just hostages are hostages.
Right.
Mm.
So it don't matter who gets in there and rescues them,
Yeah.
or no matter what kind of deal gets struck. I have no idea how many prisoners is Biden gonna release for the.
Because that's what they're being
You know what I
negotiated
mean?
for. Prisoner exchange.
Because since because the Democrats do negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
So
Well, here's the thing about the whole prisoner exchange idea. The reason that Hamas does this prisoner exchange kind of crap is because they don't have state recognition. They're not recognized by the
Right.
international community as an independent sovereign state. And from what I understand, they never will be. There are a few countries that do recognize them. Saudi Arabia is one of them as an independent sovereign country. But they are not. They are not an independent state. They're not sovereign. They are a part of the Palestinian territories, which Israel holds sway over. So what they're doing and their political agenda for this, and I can say this because it'd be pretty much obvious once I say it, they are trying to get recognition as a state. Once you do a hostage exchange, or once you do a prisoner exchange, instead of like a hostage release for a deal, you do a prisoner exchange releasing a Hamas fighter for a hostage that the Hamas has taken. Now you've recognized Hamas as a state actor instead of a terrorist organization.
Can you really be a state after Israel's bombed you back to the Stone Age, though? Because they're about to steamroll that place.
And that's the other thing that's going to come up too. So the way that this has happened over and over again throughout history, because I mean this kind of shit has been happening since like the 1950s or 1960s, since Hamas first became a thing. Hamas got elected in 2006 by the Palestinians to pretty much run their country. So I mean that's a big reason why Hamas is Palestine. They
voted for it.
They voted for it. So the whole state argument thing is, it's way too complicated to cover on this show, and I don't know enough about it to actually make an intelligible argument about it.
That's all.
So,
winded.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, Hamas has been attacking Israel for years, and what they've been trying to get is statehood, and they're not going to get statehood. Right now, if you look at Palestine, the way it's divvied up, it's the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, which is bisected by Israel. And the West Bank's on one side and Gaza Strip's on the other. They're not connected. So you got Israel between those two territories.
Yeah. It's a mess, and there ain't going to be nothing left after they get done.
Yeah.
So,
I don't blame them. If I was an IDF soldier, I'd be chomping at the bit to fucking get in there.
Yeah.
You know, I'd want some payback.
And what I got off track of, like, the way this has been happening internationally is because of UN involvement. So every time that Palestine has attacked Israel, not another country like Jordan or Egypt during like the 7 Days War, the Yom Kippur War, or any of that, when it's been Palestine versus Israel, the UN has come in and put a lot of pressure on Israel to stop attacking.
That's only good while Israel listens. You know.
Exactly. It's only good as long as Israel listens. But I mean, the UN can levy a lot of pressure. But the thing is, it becomes that whole international political landscape with the U.S. being a huge part of the UN and being a big money source.
Well, that's the
military.
You've heard me say it before. Friggin', the power of the UN is essentially the United States, militarily and financially.
But the United States also needs allies in the UN to get things done. So it's a whole political landscape there that has to be dealt with by the people that are at the UN representing these different countries. So I mean, but yeah, the U.S. is the biggest part of the UN. They hold a lot of sway, but the U.S. can be negotiated with, and it can be made to do other things because of pressures from other countries. So mainly Saudi Arabia, but
yeah,
that's why this keeps happening. That's why. Because I think 10 years ago this happened, right? I mean, that Palestine lost a lot of rockets on Israel, and that's when the first time they found out that the Iron Dome could be overwhelmed. The Iron Dome can only hit so many targets.
Well, it was. I think a lot of it matches up. Now, maybe my history is a little fuzzy, so don't quote me on this, viewers. And if you know better, hit me up on the comments or whatever. But I'm pretty sure Obama released a bunch of funds for humanitarian aid to Hamas, and what they ended up doing was digging tunnels. They ended up using all that money and that capital that they gained from the Democratic Party and the taxpayer, and grabbed that money, and instead of funneling it towards food, they probably did get some food out of it, but they mostly used it for construction of tunnel network system,
I wouldn't doubt it.
which has been the bane of freaking the IDF's existence since its formation.
Well,
So
you have to humanely dig those tunnels and feed those tunnels.
oh
So,
yeah.
There you go.
That's true.
So that's
True.
legit.
So they humanely dug a network of tunnels, and it's the rational place to go if you're being bombarded. Where else are you gonna go?
Right.
Your buildings are being demolished. You know, and the bombardment from IDF Air Force has been phenomenal forever, and
They're pretty
those
accurate.
they've been destroying their buildings. So where else are you gonna go and organize your militias and do your little terrorist powwows? Well, you gotta go underground, man.
Yeah.
It's a tactic, and it's worked in the past with big superpowers, and that's the thing. The modern era of warfare is the only thing that has kept some of these countries, some of these groups, alive enough to fight for another day.
Right.
Because a conventional force cannot fight unconventional warfare in not being humane.
Right. That's absolutely true.
And unfortunately, that is the only way
Yeah.
to fight unconventional warfare is to be unconventional.
Yeah. And you're right in saying
That's
like
been
this
the
was kept as a
failure-
mark, because the governments are now making distinctions between
Yes.
like Hamas and Palestine. Hamas isn't Palestine, so it is. But they're making distinctions like we're fighting this terrorist group, not this entire country, not the civilians of this country. Well, the thing is, if they're one and the same, that Palestine has been housing Hamas for years, has been letting them hide, has been allowing them to put their
They voted them into
rockets.
power.
They voted them into power.
Yeah.
Let them put their rocket emplacements anywhere they want, without contention, without any kind of. You don't see Palestinians protesting the Hamas for doing crazy shit, for putting rockets next to an apartment building,
So what you see
next to a hospital.
What you see is the males crying next to body bags with their families.
Yeah.
But why isn't the male dead?
Mm-hmm.
His entire family dead. This is several videos. I think I'm into dozens of videos that I've consumed on this. It's always a guy, hello, crying like he should because his family died, and I sympathize with that. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But after like the 10th video, I'm like, why it's always the guy? Why is he alive? Oh yeah, because he was fighting.
Yeah.
So he wasn't home.
Yeah, because
He wasn't home.
Yeah, he was out there with the rockets.
He was out there doing jihad with his buddies,
Yeah.
freaking throwing back some rocks and some good old bricks and letting the Kalashnikov sing.
Oh.
And
Speaking of which,
he wasn't there when the rockets dropped.
I want to make
So-
a correction,
Yeah.
not to our shit,
Oh.
but to all the other mainstream media crap that's going on. Because every time I look this up, it's the same thing. American, British, German mainstream media has reported that Hamas put out the Friday the 13th was yesterday. It's supposed to be the International Day of Rage. That is not what they called it.
No.
But that is the headline. That is the word that they are using. International Day of Rage. That is
was
not what they said.
What it was named.
It was the International Day of Jihad.
Yes.
That's what they said. An International Day of Jihad.
What do you have the definition of jihad? What's it?
Jihad? Which one?
Well,
The struggle. is almost
Not the same thing as the definition of terrorism nowadays.
well, jihad's a holy war, right? And why is it worldwide? If their beef is with Israel,
Right.
what?
So,
That got to do with me?
definition of
Yeah,
jihad is
yeah,
the
everywhere.
first thing that
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
up. Definition from Oxford Dictionary. A struggle or fight against the enemies of Islam.
Right. So that means you.
The second definition is the spiritual struggle within oneself against sin, which is what most people say it is.
Every one of you, every last one of you is a target.
A jihad
It's,
is all Muslims against everybody else.
So
The literal friggin' translation is the struggle, though, right, or something
I
like
have
that.
no idea, and I don't
yeah,
give a
it's a
shit.
struggle. But
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't care.
yeah, it's that's what they called for. It wasn't an
They didn't say
international
rage.
day of rage.
They said
No.
jihad. That's the word they used. They used the word jihad.
I mean, they got some traction in like Jordan and a couple of other places,
Yeah,
but
because
nothing really happened out here at all.
Well, that's the thing. There have been little incidences, like Beijing had one.
Diplomat was
A
stabbed.
diplomat was stabbed
Yeah, I
at,
heard
the,
about
at the Beijing Israeli consulate.
There's somebody stabbed also in France. There was a couple other things that happened. I mean, mainly what ended up happening was protests.
Yeah.
That the media claims to be peaceful because they're terrorist sympathizers too.
And they're the ones holding the cameras.
They're the ones holding the cameras. Their story, so they can call it whatever they.
There's a whole thing about all this sympathy for Palestine and Hamas. I mean, you don't see Israelis like the only images I have seen of dead Israelis is from Hamas, is from their cameras, from their cell phones that they're taking into combat, and they're putting up these videos on like TikTok or Instagram or whatever the hell they're doing, Snapchat. That's the images I've seen of Israelis dead in the street, blood everywhere. They're from Hamas. They're from Hamas fighters holding these cameras. Everything else I've seen on the mainstream part of it is Palestinians suffering because they're the ones holding the cameras on the Palestinians, and the hospital just got hit, or an apartment building just got hit, or a media building just got hit, and now they're holding cameras on these Palestinian people who are holding their dead loved ones. That's the images you're seeing because that's what the media is choosing to film.
Well, I'll tell you, man.
Hamas is filming the dead Israelis.
The next big thing is going to be, the Israeli push in there.
And that's what's not happened yet.
300 plus thousand freaking guys have already messed up.
I don't know. Yeah.
But if Hamas hasn't already been dug in, they did it before they even launched their offensive.
You heard they tried to capitulate for a truce, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard something about that, but you don't get to freaking go in, murk a bunch of people and say, all right, we're good now.
Yeah.
Whoa, time
That's
out.
exactly what they said too. It's like, hey, we want to do a truce because we achieved our objectives. Yeah, fuck you. I'm about to achieve mine.
Yeah, I was about to say, Israel's about to achieve theirs en masse.
But yeah, I can't believe they actually did that. They actually tried to put for a truce because, we achieved our objectives. We killed who we wanted to kill. We're done with this now. We want a truce.
Yeah.
No.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's fucking ballsy, bro.
Fucking bonkers. Get fucked.
I'll tell you that tells you that these people aren't in the right state of mind, man. This is insane, man. How are you gonna exact that much violence and then just be like you're about to get punched in the face and go whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, just because you didn't knock them out in the first one,
No. What do you expect was going to happen?
Yeah.
It's Israel, I mean, it's kind of like what I said about the U.S. Marines. It's like kicking over a freaking anthill. They go nuts. It's to be expected.
Yeah, it's to be expected, dude. You're gonna dude. All I can say, if I were to say anything in support of Hamas, which I don't, but if I just take that free ride to Egypt and just keep on going.
Yeah.
Just keep on going, because you ain't gonna survive this.
No.
You ain't gonna survive this.
No. It would surprise me greatly if Israel actually pulled back.
You ain't gonna survive this. What's coming, you ain't gonna survive.
I think Israel is actually sick of this, and that they're going to prevent it from ever happening in the
They're
future.
gonna push you.
that place.
So either that, or
At least Gaza.
invest in some floaties or something, because they're gonna push you right into the ocean.
Right.
So
I can totally see that. Like at least Gaza is going to be no longer a thing. If the West Bank is allowed to exist after this, it's that I can see. But Gaza, I can't see Gaza existing as a Muslim area.
They've taken it before.
Yeah, several times.
And gave it back.
And that's I remember you and I talking about it a long time ago. It's like every time Israel has gone to war, they've expanded their borders.
Yeah, they gave it back,
And that's the thing. You got Hamas, a terrorist organization, attacking the most militarily powerful country in the Middle East is Israel. There isn't a single country in the Middle East. Iran can't take Israel by itself. Neither can Syria, neither can Egypt, neither can Saudi Arabia, neither can none of these Middle Eastern, neither can Jordan. None of these countries can actually
do it all together that one time.
Right.
We'll just gang up on them.
Wonder Twins active. No, he's still hitting us.
Yeah.
God.
Israel is the most militarily powerful country in that region. They have some of the most advanced technology. Here's the thing. Even in the tanker world, even among American tankers, the Israelis are seen to have the best tank in the world, the Merkava Mark IV. It's one of the best tanks on the planet, if not the best tank on the planet, and it's just as combat proven as the American Abrams, if not more so. Because they're constantly at war, they're constantly using that tank for different purposes. And the other thing is, like, we get advice from Israel on how to deal with shit. When we first went into Afghanistan, when we first went into Iraq, specifically Iraq, who did we actually contact for intelligence on the area and how to deal with those people? The Israelis.
Well, it's not just that, but armor tactics in an urban environment, a lot of it derives from the utilization of the Merkava 4 in city streets.
Right.
And not that the Americans didn't know already how to do it, but just to kind of like, hey man, check my work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, check my work. You read that over and make sure I don't sound like a dum-dum.
Get Israeli advisors on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Of course. And they take a look, that's sound or not, change that. Because the Merkava 4, what these freaking Hamas dum-dums have been doing is they've been dropping freaking RKG-3s from drones onto the tops of Merkavas, because traditionally tanks are weaker from the top, not the Merkava.
Yeah. It has the same armor all around the turret.
It has the same armor all around the turret.
More on the sides, but yeah, it's
specifically
more than,
because they operate in urban environments. It's a tank designed for Israel, by Israel, for the destruction of Hamas.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. These guys, cease fire, bro. Time out.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Time out, it tickles.
We get military equipment from Israel. Bro. Like a lot of the MRAPs that you've seen in like the later part of the Iraq War, the later part of the Afghanistan War, especially after 2008. You saw a lot of MRAPs. A lot of soldiers that would listen to this would recognize the MRAP, any one of those MRAPs. I used to work for on a contract for BAE Systems, and I was specifically on the RG-33 SV MRAP, and we got a question from one of our students that we never even thought to even consider, and it was like, what does RG stand for? No idea. I don't have a fucking clue. And we tried to look it up in the TM. Wasn't in the TM. It's like, where the hell does RG come from? Because usually it's some kind of nomenclature for like what the vehicle actually is. You'd see it with like an MBT, an MBTA-1. That's a main battle tank. That's what that means. So an RG is like, what the hell is the RG? So we looked it up, contacted the company for guidance. BAE Systems, like, oh, no idea. This is what it's called. Are you serious?
You're making stuff up now?
So we continued to look it up. What it stands for is Raphael's Golan. It's Israeli.
Golan Heights, yeah.
Raphael's Golan is what they call it. Raphael is a military manufacturer in Israel. They're the ones who actually made the schematic for that particular vehicle. So they called it the RG-33. They made it for a South African country. And that's the thing. We get a lot of military shit from Israel.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Tactics, equipment, vehicles. I don't understand what Hamas thinks what's going to happen if they piss off the Israelis just one more time.
You ain't got to be clairvoyant to know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I have no doubt the Israelis can do it, but it's going to be a fucking rough fight.
Yeah.
There is no doubt they've had the capability to absolutely steamroll in Gaza for fucking 50 years, but
they're proper fucked.
Yeah, before the Germans get there. Yeah.
Before the Germans, proper fucked.
But you know, that whole area.
And the Germans might show up.
Shit. Yeah. No. Yeah. And on the side of the Jews.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how angry they made everybody, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh, hey.
Fist bump each other. Juden. Bam. Let's get these bastards. Yeah. It's crazy.
You imagine that the fucking Germans turn up, the Israelis would be like,
das is good. Okay, it's okay.
What was that comic strip thing I told you about when the Ukraine thing first kicked off, and they were like, oh, let's push all these assets into Poland. There's got all these people standing around with country names on it. They're like, yeah, let's put all these tanks into freaking Poland and all that, and the one with Germany on it, it's just like, whoa. You want me to send tanks to Poland? And we're all cool with that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just checking. Just making sure.
You guys threw a hissy fit.
1936.
Yeah, it is crazy, man. We got anything else on the news spectrum?
That was the biggest thing we covered.
That's
the two
biggest
little
one
ones.
that we
Israel wars. That's going to be a topic as long as it's happening.
Yeah.
So, every show from here on until this conflict is ended by whatever means, it's going to be a part of our show.
It wouldn't surprise
to at least
me.
mention it.
It wouldn't surprise me if the Israelis push in there by the time you guys freaking edit
Post
this
this,
and get it on.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
if that happens, we know who. Yeah, we know who's gonna win that one, and it's
That's the thing. Israel is vastly superior to everybody else in that region.
that's not my worry. That's not my worry. It's just there's so much geopolitical
Yeah,
fallout
that's the biggest thing.
that's gonna affect it. This thing affects the planet.
Yes,
It's
it's in the oil-rich
It's-
region of the world.
it's the right thing to do, but also, damn.
Yeah,
You know, it's one of those things like, I don't know, like, fucking, damn, it's like sending your kid to college or something, you know, just like, I love my kid, but you gotta get the fuck out of here. You know, it's like, you know, it's one of those things, you know, so I don't know, man. Y'all stay safe out there, man. Just remember, just because Friday the 13th was the International Day of Jihad, that doesn't mean that it ended that day, the 13th.
that's true. It could still be going on. People
It
start
could still be
planning
going
it.
on. Just keep your heads on a swivel.
And remember, most Muslims don't
And
adhere
remember,
to that crap.
if you
They
got
don't
if you got
pitch it to the Hamas.
if you got Muslim neighbors and stuff like that, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You know, if you've always been friends with your Muslim neighbors, don't be a dick. It'll be fine. This is something that's localized to that. A lot of it is localized to a very few extremist people that wouldn't talk to any of you at any point in time.
No.
So just be kind to your neighbor, man, and it'll be all right. We'll all pull through this together. So,
Thanks for being on.
thanks for being on, my man.
Hope you had a good time.
And don't forget, guys, freaking Redcoat over here. I don't know if you're on any kind of platform, but you'll be on here. We'll bring you on there.
Yeah.
We'll bring you on here for your colonialist opinion.
Oh yeah. Well,
Every time.
I've actually been in America longer than I was in England.
Nobody cares. You haven't ditched the accent yet. You're still
I know.
British.
I sound more Australian these days.
Fucking adds legitimacy, though. It's like,
Yeah. Now we sound a lot smarter than we
no,
used to.
So give us a like and subscribe.
If
Don't
people
forget.
only knew how dumb you actually were.
It's true. I'm a moron.
This guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Y'all don't understand.
Yeah. I can barely string a sentence together, man.
Yeah, so we are.
I'm working off of a script right now. This ain't really nothing.
That's not true.
That's not true. So
Put that out there. We don't use
fucking
That's why you can edit.
Jesus Christ.
Just bleep that out. We'll just say he just said a bunch of British cuss words. We couldn't freaking have him on it.
Oh, man,
completely different
nobody
language.
knows. You sound like you got marbles in your mouth.
freaking speaking picked right
What is
now.
it like? French people freaking. You sound like a dog with peanut butter on it.
Or what was the other one? I was like, you sound like a Frenchman. It's like, what's that mean? Like you progressively get fucking lower and lower in volume as you run away. You know? So yeah, but like and subscribe and check us out on all the different platforms. We're gathering enough footage over here and enough audio stuff to launch on Spotify and iTunes. So stay tuned for that.
We're on Twitter yet.
Yeah, you've got to
Yeah,
branch it out.
we're on Twitter.
Are we?
Well, we can be on this one. Episode 20 can go on.
No, it's
Well,
not,
Twitter's
it's
got
not
some
Twitter
weird
anymore.
rules.
Does
Well,
it?
X.
X,
So
yeah.
X gonna give it to you. You know. Yeah. So X. We can be on there on this one, and then you know, of course, Instagram. We put shorts out on that one. You know, at Eastcast. You know, on YouTube and Rumble, and I mean, I got an RSS feed too. So if you got if you just want to listen to the audio of this, just tune on to RSS, and I'll leave all the links to all that below. And you can listen to this stuff on your way to work and whatnot, and
Right.
so you don't have to look at our ugly mugs, you know.
Yeah.
But
Especially this one. It's almost beard.
yeah, he
It doesn't look right.
No, it doesn't. That's why I'm growing it back.
yeah.
It's just in the weird stage where it looks like crap.
My kids wouldn't come near him, bro.
It's itchy.
My kids wouldn't come
Yeah.
near him. They're like, we don't know that guy. Looks like
Yeah.
Dr. Evil.
I don't doubt it. I don't blame them either.
Yeah.
They've only known me with a beard, so.
Yeah, we're also branching out. We got I'm gonna try to start a Patreon on this one and try to get some funding so we can get some merch out. I mean, there's a lot of things we're working on, but you guys keep it classy, man. Freaking tune up next time. Is it out?
That's it, yeah.
Oh well, it's not on this one. It's still going.
This saying dead battery, so it's only got a couple seconds.
Ah well, I mean, fuck it.
All right.
See you guys later. Bye. Oh, that was a banger.
What the fuck?
Stamp the date.
The post stamp on that fucking letter was the same day I was in the office. Day.
Either it's remarkable efficiency, or you went in there and just straight shit your pants. You know?
I don't even know.